Drill sergeants mocked the old man's push-ups until he showed them his Ranger tab. The sun hasn't cleared the tree line yet when the bus rolls through the gates of Fort Benning. Inside, 32 young men sit in silence. Some stare out the windows. Others close their eyes, trying to hold on to one last moment before everything changes. The air smells like diesel and nerves. Nobody's laughing. Nobody's talking. They're all thinking the same thing. What have I done? At the back of the bus, near the emergency exit that hasn't worked in years, sits a man who doesn't fit. He's older, mid-50s, maybe. Gray threading through his hair. Lines around his eyes that don't come from smiling. He wears the same plain clothes as the rest of them. Jeans, a white t-shirt, running shoes. But something about him is different. The way he sits, the way he breathes. Calm, still, like he's been here before. The kid next to him, 18, buzzed head, hands shaking, leans over. "You sure you're on the right bus, man?" The older man doesn't look at him, just nods once. "Yeah, I'm sure." The bus stops. The doors hiss open, and the world explodes. 3 drill sergeants storm aboard like thunder in boots. Voices like hammer strikes. Orders barked so fast the words blur together. "Move, now! Get off my bus! Faster, faster!" The recruits stumble over each other, tripping down the steps, eyes wide, hearts hammering. Welcome to basic training. Welcome to the machine. They line up on the pavement. 32 strangers press shoulder to shoulder, trying not to breathe too loud. The drill sergeants circle like wolves. One of them, tall, lean, voice like gravel, stops in front of the older man. "How old are you, recruit?" 53, drill sergeant." A pause, then a slow, cold smile. 53. The other sergeants move in closer. One of them laughs, short, sharp, mocking. "You lost, Grandpa? Retirement home's 2 miles that way." The older man doesn't flinch, doesn't smile, just stands there, eyes forward, jaw tight. "No, drill sergeant, I'm here to train." "Train?" The tall sergeant leans in. "You think you can keep up with these kids? You think your knees can take what we're about to put you through?" "I'll find out, drill sergeant." Silence. The kind that hums, the kind that waits. Then the sergeant steps back, shaking his head. "All right, old man, we'll see." They march them to the barracks, assign bunks, strip them of everything they brought. Phones, wallets, photographs of people they're already starting to miss. They're given uniforms, dog tags, a new name, recruit. The older man moves through it all like water. No complaints, no questions. Just does what he's told and keeps his head down. That night in the dark, the kid from the bus whispers across the aisle, "Hey, what made you come back?" The older man doesn't answer right away. He stares up at the ceiling, listening to the sound of 31 other men breathing. Finally, he speaks, quiet, almost to himself. "Unfinished business." The kid doesn't ask what that means. Morning comes fast, too fast. 0500 hours. Lights snap on like a slap. The drill sergeants are already screaming. "Get up, get dressed. You've got 60 seconds. They stumble outside into the cold Georgia morning. Formation, roll call, and then the words that make everyone's stomach drop. "PT test. Let's see what you're made of." Push-ups first. The younger recruits drop to the ground, arms shaking, faces red, gasping through 20, 30, 40 reps. The drill sergeants walk between them, counting out loud, correcting form, calling out weakness. Then they get to the older man. He's on the ground, moving slow. His form is tight, controlled, but the speed isn't there. 10 push-ups, 15, 20. His arms tremble. His breath comes harder. One of the sergeants crouches beside him. "That all you got, old man?" The older man doesn't answer. Just keeps going. 25, 30, but it's painful to watch. The other recruits glance over, wincing. Even the kid from the bus looks away. The sergeant stands, shaking his head. "Pathetic," 35. The older man's arms give out. He collapses to the dirt, chest heaving. The sergeant leans down. "Maybe you should have stayed home." The older man pushes himself up to his knees, wipes the dust from his hands, says nothing. They move on to sit-ups, running, pull-ups. The day grinds forward like a blade. And through it all, the older man struggles. Not dramatically, not theatrically, just struggles, like anyone his age would. By the end of the day, the whispers have started. Why is he even here? He's going to wash out by week 2. Poor guy. Doesn't stand a chance. But the older man doesn't quit, doesn't complain, doesn't explain. He just keeps moving. That night, after lights out, the tall drill sergeant sits in the office with the other two. They're filling out paperwork, logging the day's results. "Think he'll make it?" one of them asks. The tall sergeant snorts. "Not a chance." They laugh, file the papers, move on. None of them notice the name on the roster. None of them see the small, faded tattoo on the older man's shoulder, the one he keeps covered, a scroll, a lightning bolt, and 2 words, "Rangers lead." The first week is designed to break you, not your body, your mind. They wake you at impossible hours, feed you just enough to keep moving, run you until your legs forget how to stop, yell until the words lose meaning. It's not about strength, it's about surrender, learning to let go of who you were and become what they need you to be. For most of the recruits, it works. They fold, they adapt, they become part of the machine. But the older man, he's different. Not because he's strong, because he's slow. Every run, he's at the back of the pack. Every drill, he's half a step behind. His body doesn't respond the way it used to. The cartilage in his knees grinds with every step. His lower back seizes up during ruck marches. He sweats through his uniform before the sun even rises, and the drill sergeants notice. "Pick it up, Grandpa. You holding us back again, old man? Maybe you should walk. Oh, wait, you already are." The other recruits start to resent him, not openly, but you can feel it. The sighs when he can't finish an obstacle. The eye rolls when he asks someone to repeat an instruction. The space that opens up around him in formation. He's becoming a liability. One morning, during a ruck march, the kid from the bus falls in, step beside him. "You okay?" The older man nods, doesn't look over. "Yeah, you don't look okay." "I'm fine." They walk in silence for a while. The weight of the packs, the rhythm of boots on gravel, the Georgia heat pressing down like a hand. Finally, the kid speaks again. "Why don't you just quit? No shame in it. You tried." The older man stops walking. The kid stops too. Behind them, the column keeps moving. The older man looks at him. Really looks at him. "You know what the hardest part of this is?" The kid shakes his head. "It's not the pain. It's not the exhaustion. It's remembering why you came back." He adjusts his pack, starts walking again. The kid watches him go, confused, then hurries to catch up. That afternoon, during combatives training, things get worse. They're practicing hand-to-hand, grappling, throws, the kind of rough, sweaty chaos that separates the aggressive from the hesitant. The older man is paired with a younger recruit, 22, built like a linebacker, eager to prove himself. They square off. The whistle blows. The younger guy shoots in fast, wraps him up, drives him to the mat, hard. The older man hits the ground with a grunt, wind knocked out of him. The drill sergeant watching doesn't even blink. Again, they reset, same result. The older man tries to sprawl, but his hips don't move fast enough. Down he goes. Again, and again, and again. By the fifth time, the older man can barely stand. His ribs ache, his shoulders jammed. He's sucking air like a drowning man. The linebacker stands over him, not even winded. The drill sergeant walks over, looks down. "You done?" The older man pushes himself up, shakes his head. "No, drill sergeant." "Then get up." He does, barely. They go again. This time, something shifts. The older man doesn't try to outmuscle the kid. He waits, reads the movement, and when the linebacker shoots in, the older man pivots, just slightly, and redirects the momentum. The kid stumbles, off balance. The older man doesn't capitalize, just resets. The drill sergeant raises an eyebrow. Huh. But the damage is done. By the time they break for chow, the older man is limping. His left knee is swollen. His hands shake when he tries to hold his tray. At dinner, nobody sits near him. He eats alone, slowly, staring at nothing. That night, the tall drill sergeant pulls him aside. "Recruit, a word." They step into the hallway, fluorescent lights buzzing. Overhead, the sergeant crosses his arms. "I'm gonna be straight with you. You're not keeping up." The older man nods. "I know, drill sergeant. You're slowing down your platoon. You're becoming a distraction." "Yes, drill sergeant." The sergeant leans in. "So, why are you still here?" The older man meets his eyes, doesn't blink. "Because I'm not done yet." The sergeant studies him, long and hard. "You got family? Kids?" "2, grown now." "They know you're here?" A pause. "No." "Why not?" The older man looks away. For the first time, something cracks in his expression. "Because I didn't want them to see me fail." The sergeant's face softens, just for a second. Then he straightens up. "All right, you've got one more week. If you can't show me something by then, I'm recommending you recycle or drop." The older man nods. "Understood, drill sergeant." The sergeant turns to leave, then stops. "For what it's worth, most guys your age wouldn't have made it this far." The older man doesn't respond. He just walks back to his bunk, sits down, and stares at his boots. The kid from the bus watches from across the bay. "You gonna be okay?" The older man doesn't look up. "I don't know." Outside, the Georgia night hums with cicadas and distant thunder. And somewhere deep in the older man's chest, something old and sharp begins to wake up. The second week starts with rain, not the soft kind, the kind that soaks through everything and turns the red Georgia clay into a slick, boot-sucking nightmare. They're out in it before dawn, running the obstacle course in full gear. Ropes, walls, mud pits, the kind of training that's designed to strip away pretense and leave only will. The older man is struggling. His knee is worse. Every step is a negotiation between pain and forward motion. He makes it over the first wall by sheer stubbornness, hands raw from the rope. But at the mud crawl, he slows. His shoulders lock up. His breath comes in short, desperate gasps. Behind him, the rest of the platoon stacks up. "Move it, old man!" "You're killing us!" The drill sergeants are watching, silent, calculating. He drags himself through, inch by inch. By the time he reaches the other side, the rest of the platoon is already at the next station. The tall sergeant is waiting. "Recruit, fall out!" The older man stands there, dripping mud, chest heaving. "Drill sergeant, I said fall out." He steps aside. watches as the platoon continues without him. The sergeant doesn't yell, doesn't mock, just speaks quietly. "You're done. Report to the company office after chow. We'll process your paperwork." The older man opens his mouth, closes it, nods. "Yes, drill sergeant." He walks back to the barracks alone, strips off his soaked uniform, sits on the edge of his bunk in silence. Around him, the bay is empty. Everyone else is still out there, still fighting, still moving forward. He's failed. For a long time, he just sits there, staring at his hands, at the calluses, the scars, the age. Then he reaches into his locker, pulls out a small, worn photograph. It's old, faded. Two young men in ranger uniforms, arms around each other's shoulders, grinning like they own the world. Behind them, mountains, somewhere overseas. He stares at it. And something inside him breaks, not loudly, quietly. The way things break when they've been holding too much for too long. He thinks about the last time he saw that man in the photo, thinks about the promise he made, thinks about the reason he came back. Then he puts the photograph away, stands up, and starts getting dressed. When the platoon returns an hour later, soaked and exhausted, they find the older man in the common area. He's changed into a clean uniform, sitting at a table, alone. The kid from the bus walks over. "Hey, you okay?" The older man looks up. "They're kicking me out." The kid's face falls. "Man, I'm sorry." The older man shrugs. "It's all right. I knew it was coming." "Still, that sucks." The older man nods, then looks at the kid. "You're gonna do fine, you know." Yeah, you've got what it takes." The kid sits down across from him. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure. Why'd you really come back?" The older man is quiet for a long time. Then he reaches up and unbuttons the top of his uniform, pulls the collar aside. There, on his shoulder, is the tattoo, the scroll, the lightning bolt, the words, "Rangers lead." The kid's eyes go wide. "You're a ranger?" The older man nods. "Was. Long time ago. Why didn't you say anything?" "Because it doesn't matter. Not here. I'm just another recruit." The kid leans back, stunned. "Dude, the drill sergeants don't know?" "No." "Why not?" The older man buttons his uniform back up. "Because I didn't come here to prove I used to be something. I came here to prove I still could be." He stands, picks up his tray. "But I guess I was wrong." He walks away. The kid sits there, staring after him. Then he looks around the bay, at the other recruits, at the drill sergeant's office down the hall, and he makes a decision. That evening, after the final formation, the kid approaches the tall drill sergeant. "Drill sergeant, permission to speak." The sergeant looks up from his clipboard. "What is it, recruit?" The kid hesitates, then speaks. "It's about the older guy, the one you're kicking out." The sergeant's expression hardens. "That's not your concern." "I know, drill sergeant, but there's something you should know." "Spit it out." The kid takes a breath. "He's a ranger. He's got the tab. I saw it." The sergeant goes very still. "Say that again." "He's a ranger, drill sergeant. He never told anyone, but he is." The sergeant stares at the kid for a long moment. Then he sets down his clipboard. "Where is he now?" They find him in the barracks, sitting on his bunk, packing his things. The three drill sergeants walk in together. The older man stands at attention. "Drill sergeant." The tall sergeant steps forward. "You got something you want to tell me, recruit?" The older man's jaw tightens. "No, drill sergeant." "No? No, drill sergeant." The sergeant crosses his arms. "One of your fellow recruits says you've got a ranger tab." The older man doesn't respond. "Is that true?" A long silence. Then quietly, "Yes, drill sergeant." "Why didn't you mention it?" "Because it wasn't relevant, drill sergeant." "Not relevant?" The sergeant's voice rises. "You let us mock you. You let us call you old man. You let us think you were just some washed-up civilian trying to relive his glory days." "Why?" The older man's voice is steady, calm. "Because I didn't come here to be treated differently. I came here to see if I could still do it." "Do what?" "Be a soldier." The sergeant studies him. Then slowly, deliberately, he reaches out. "Show me." The older man hesitates. Then he unbuttons his collar, pulls it aside, the tattoo, the tab, the proof. The three drill sergeants go silent. One of them, the one who laughed at him on day one, steps forward. "Where'd you serve?" "2nd Bat, 75th Regiment." "When?" "91 to 96, Iraq, Somalia." The sergeants exchange glances. The tall one speaks again. "Why'd you come back?" The older man looks down at his hands. "I had a friend, my ranger buddy. We went through selection together, deployed together. He died in Mogadishu, bled out in my arms." His voice doesn't shake, but it goes quiet. "Before he died, he made me promise something. He said, 'Don't let this be the end. Don't let what we did fade.' I didn't understand what he meant. Not then." He looks up. "But I do now. I came back because I wanted to prove that what we were still matters, that the standards still mean something, that age doesn't erase what you carry." He pauses. "I failed. I know that. I couldn't keep up. I slowed everyone down. But I tried. And that's all I promised him I'd do." The room is silent. Then the tall sergeant steps forward and snaps to attention. The other two do the same. "Ranger," the tall sergeant says quietly, "you didn't fail." The older man blinks. "Drill sergeant? You're not getting kicked out. But you're not done here, not yet." The older man stares at them. "I don't understand." The sergeant's expression softens. "You think we care how fast you run, how many push-ups you can do. That's not what makes a soldier. What makes a soldier is the will to keep moving when everything in you says stop. You've been doing that since day one." He steps closer. "You want to honor your friend? Then finish what you started." The older man's throat tightens. "I don't know if I can." "You can, and you will, because that's what Rangers do." The older man stands there, caught between disbelief and hope. Then slowly, he nods. "Yes, drill sergeant." The sergeant extends his hand. They shake. "Welcome back." The next morning, everything changes. When the platoon falls in for formation, the tall drill sergeant stands in front of them. "Listen up. Some of you have been wondering about the older recruit in your platoon. Some of you have questioned why he's here, so I'm going to tell you." He gestures to the older man. "This man is a U.S. Army Ranger. He served with honor in combat. He didn't tell you because he didn't want special treatment. He wanted to earn his place here the same way you do." The platoon shifts. Murmurs ripple through the ranks. "From now on, you will treat him with the respect he's earned. And if any of you fall out on a run, if any of you quit on an obstacle, remember this: that man is 53 years old, and he's still moving forward." The sergeant steps back. "Carry on." From that day forward, the older man is no longer invisible. When he struggles on a run, someone falls back to pace him. When his knee gives out on a ruck march, hands reach down to pull him up. When he can't finish his push-ups, the platoon waits. Not out of pity, out of respect. The kid from the bus becomes his shadow, checks on him after PT, helps him stretch, talks to him during chow. "Why didn't you just tell them from the start?" the kid asks one night. The older man shrugs. "Because I needed to know I could still do it without the tab, without the reputation. I needed to know the man I was is still in here somewhere." "And?" the older man smiles. "Just a little. I'm still figuring it out." The weeks grind on. He doesn't get faster. His knees don't stop hurting. But he stops falling behind. Because the platoon doesn't let him. They become a unit, not 32 individuals. One. On the final ruck march, 12 miles, full combat load, George's sun beating down like a hammer. The older man makes it to the 8-mile mark before his knee buckles. He goes down hard, face in the dirt, breathing through clenched teeth. The drill sergeants start to move toward him, but before they can, the kid from the bus drops his ruck, kneels down. "Come on, old man, we're not done yet." The older man shakes his head. "I can't." "Yeah, you can." 2 more recruits drop their rucks, lift him up, 1 on each side. "We'll carry you if we have to." The older man looks at them, at their young faces, their determination. He thinks about the photograph in his locker. He thinks about his friend, and he nods. All right. They finish together, all 32 of them, crossing the line as one. The drill sergeants stand at the finish, silent, watching. When the older man crosses, they salute. He salutes back. Graduation day is quiet, no fanfare, no grand speeches, just a formation, a handshake, and a new uniform. The older man stands in the back row, shoulders straight, eyes forward. His family didn't come. He didn't invite them. But the kid from the bus is there, and the platoon, and the drill sergeants. After the ceremony, the tall sergeant pulls him aside. "You did it." The older man nods. "We did it." The sergeant hands him something, a small folded flag. "This was in your file, belonged to your friend. The army kept it after. Mogadishu. I thought you should have it." The older man takes it, holds it like it might break. "Thank you." The sergeant nods. "Rangers lead the way." "All the way." They shake hands. Then the sergeant walks away. The older man stands there alone, holding the flag. Behind him, the platoon is laughing, taking photos, saying goodbye. He looks down at the flag, at the stars and stripes, and he whispers, so quietly no one else can hear, "I kept my promise." 3 months later, a package arrives at a house in North Carolina. Inside, a photograph, 32 recruits in formation, and in the back row, standing tall, an older man. On the back, in neat handwriting, "He didn't quit, and neither did we." The family hangs it on the wall, next to another photograph, an old one, faded, 2 young men in ranger uniforms, arms around each other, grinning. The house is quiet, but the story lives on.